Hey Bodgies and Widgies, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a full unboxing of some really amazing plants I ended up receiving from Aquarzon.com. You'll know that they're one of my favorite online aquarium stores for getting planted aquarium goods. They have an extensive range of really amazing rare and high-end plants, and they ended up sending me some for my new 30cm cube high-tech planted aquarium. Doing university and work from home, I wanted to make sure that I have a bit of a healthy distraction on my desk where I work and do studies, and that's where I ended up setting up this 30cm cube. So today I'll take you through all the plants that we got and have a closer look at this aquarium just to see how the plants and also the fish in there are settling in. A massive thank you to Aquarzon for completely sending these plants out totally for free. And before we get into this video, as always, let's acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land I'm filming on, the land that you're watching this video on, and the amazing people who are managing our land at the moment, like our councils, our frontline workers, everyone amazing like that. So a huge thank you to them, a massive thank you to you for watching this video, and I say without further ado, let's get to unboxing these plants. Okay, it's time to get the plants open, and I actually noticed something different in packaging this time. Aquarzon has used a black thank you sticker, black and gold, very classy. Usually it's red. It goes to show I've got plants that many times that I know what sticker they use. Trusty cheese knife, and let's get this open. And as always, plants are packaged really, really well. And the really great thing you'll notice throughout this video is with all the plants, they come in individual bags. They're individually named with stickers so you know exactly what you're getting. Because I know sometimes when you get sort of big plant packs, it can be a bit confusing when you're getting multiple species of plants. However, you'll notice a sneak peek here that they have labels on them, which I always love. I actually know what plants are in here, and they're plants I've wanted for a very, very long time, and I just haven't really gotten around to getting them. Yet Aquarzon was, as always, kind enough to send me these plants totally free of charge. So let's get to opening these and see what we have. Okay, so plants are out of the box, and let's see all the species we have. The first one to start off with is the beautiful red root floaters. I love this plant just because of how amazing this looks, especially as a very bright red floating plant when they have CO2 and some high light. The second one is Posperanica Palustris, which is a stem plant I've never had before, and it sort of, I believe, has sort of these spiky looking leaves, a very, very unique texture, very unique way that it looks. The second we have is Bacopa Carolina, 6 stems. Again, another stem plant I've never kept before. And that's the really amazing thing about Aquarzon. When you go on their website, there's not just your basic sort of run-of-the-mill plants that you see every day. For those who are really into plants and want to collect different species and sort of get some more rare or higher end plants, or just get a bunch of different types of plants and maybe have like a collector's tank, Aquarzon is definitely the way to go. But we now have, this is a plant I have had in the past before, and it's one I really, really love, is Alternanthera Reineckii mini. For those of you that are wanting to get some really blood red plants with not really that much effort, the AR mini or Alternanthera Reineckii mini is the way to go. The red that it has is almost sort of a very deep, almost wine red on the top of the leaf, and the underside of the leaf is like this metallic fluoro purple. I think that's sort of how I can explain it. It looks phenomenal. We then have Ludwigia Super Red Mini. Now this one is 6 stems once again. This is a plant I have had very shortly in the past before. At the time I didn't really have CO2, and it was my first time entering into the plant game, and it was just such a good looking plant that I wanted to have it, but the leaves all started melting. However, this time around we have a full CO2 highlight environment, and I think this plant is going to sing in there, and I just want to see how it does. We then have another plant I very much like, and that is Hygrophilla Pinnatifida. When you trim this plant really well and get it nice and compact, the leaves stay kind of small, really tight knit together, and it's both a stem and epiphyte plant as well. So I think we can really experiment how we're growing this plant in the nano cube aquarium. And one of the final plants we have is Limnophila Hippuridoides. Now, just looking in the packaging, it looks like it's a very dense plant, which I really love. I like the plants where you just have a few of them, but they just really go thick and very easy to care for kind of plants. And this seems to be one of them, but I really am challenging myself with the species I'm keeping with the CO2 and highlight environment. But one thing I did just want to show you is how well these plants are packed. you'll notice that firstly, again, we've got the quantity along with the plants, and all of them are in their individual snap lock bags, very well tightly sealed, completely almost like vacuum sealed as well. It's very well packaged, and all the plants are made sure that they stay damp in these paper towels, and these are actually like good quality paper towels as well. Just all of these minor things that you'll notice with Aquarzon plants that really make a difference, because a lot of the times when you do buy plants online, what I found is they're sort of wrapped in like butcher's paper almost, and by the time you pull the plant out, it's just all broken down, worn out, and it's just not good quality. But you'll notice here that the plants are doing fantastically well. These have been in postage for about 3 days, I believe. There's not a single leaf. Usually you'll notice like the stem ends are kind of like brown and mucky, but these plants are doing fantastic. Just look at the colors on them. They haven't even lost a single shade, and I cannot wait to get this in the aquarium. So I think let's do that now. Ta-da! I guess I am very sorry for not showing the planting process. When it actually comes to adding the plants to the aquarium, I have this game plan in mind, and when I actually start planting, it kind of changes, and I'm constantly moving plants around, seeing what looks best, and I think it would not be the best if you were just watching me for 30 minutes straight, rip my hair out, / planting plants as well. So I just thought, we'll plant it, let the plants all settle in for 2 weeks, do a bit of a trim, and then show you the final outcome. And this is it. I really love the way this aquarium looks, and the main inspiration for it was a Dutch style aquarium. Now, in Dutch themed tanks, they actually don't use any hardscape materials. You'll notice that on the right hand side of this tank there is a piece of Sirius stone, and on there I've got some mosses which were actually also sent to me from Aquarzon, but in a previous video, which I'll have linked in the description down below. But the fish, the plants, everything, the layers and the depth, they just contrast really well, and I'm pretty happy with what I've done. But the first plant we're having a look at here is the Posperanica Palustris. This was the only plant that actually sort of melted back a bit when I originally added it to the aquarium. So then I did trim half the stem completely off, and now you'll notice all these new shoots which are coming out, and the colours and also the growth will only deepen further. The second plant we're going to have a look at is the Limnophila Hippuridoides. Now this plant, I've got to say, is literally just a fine wine. The longer you have it, the better the colours are developing, and it just has this sort of blood purple, almost burgundy colour, and it looks absolutely amazing in my opinion. It's a very unique texture, and the way that it grows as well is super cool. And speaking of super cool, this is got to be my favourite plant, surprisingly, out of all of the plants received by Aquarzon. This one here is the Bacopa Carolina Mini in its full glory. You can notice that it is such a tall, very straight plant, and I think it's such an amazing plant as a background, something I will definitely be utilising more in future scapes, but just that bright green along with the reddish kind of tips, just give it a really cool contrast along with the large leaves, which is very, very different. But now we've got a good old classic, and that is the Hygrophilla Pinnatifida, and I think this one is great just because of the leaf texture. The long but also very sparse leaves just look very, very nice. But the factor I love most about this plant are these anchoring roots, which just add so much amazing detail, which is only something I observed very recently, but it's just so cool. Next up, we've got the Ludwigia Super Red Mini. Now, I would have mentioned earlier in this video that I have kept this plant in the past. However, it didn't do so well because I didn't provide it the optimal conditions it needs. But you'll see here that it is doing fantastic. It's like a phoenix from the ashes, and I absolutely love these blood red colors that it has. But speaking of red, or more so a very bright, blinding fluoro pink, this one here is the Alternanthera Reineckii Mini. I actually did trim this plant today, and you'll notice the underside of the leaves and just how bright pink they are. It is out of this world. But this is the top side of this plant, the Alternanthera, and it's such a classic because of how easily you can achieve the red in this plant. Generally, to achieve these deep dark reds, you need to add some high CO2, high light, and very low nitrate environments, but you really don't need to go through that much effort for this plant. And here is one of my all-time favorites, the red root floaters. At one point my forefoot was basically overtaken by this plant, but I cannot wait for those really deep red colors to develop, which generally comes from high light intensity, which the nano tank definitely does have. So the more this grows, the more those reds are going to come out, and I can't wait. Alrighty, Bodgies and Widgies, thank you so much for watching that video of me unboxing those plants and adding them to my 30cm cube aquarium. It just goes to show that where you're actually getting the plants matters just as much as the aquarium they're going into. And what I mean by that is all of these plants were 100% submersed grown, and that goes for across the board with the plants at Aquarzon, no matter if you're getting stem plants or epiphyte plants as well. And it makes the transition from their aquariums into your tanks far easier, even though there's that step of postage which is involved. And you would have seen during that little segment that I showed of me actually unwrapping those plants, they were completely stiff, very healthy plants as well. So when they were added in, they just bounced right away. Fantastic root structures have developed and they're just growing so well. So much so that I actually had to trim the tank before I started filming this video because it was that overgrown from the first 2 weeks that I added them to the tank. They've now been propagated and added to my Luminatus rainbow fish grow out tank, which is a video you'll see in the very near future. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you for watching and a massive thank you to Aquarzon once again for sending me these amazing quality plants totally free of charge. I've also got all of their website links in the description down below, but if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more unboxings or product reviews or any other video that you want me to make, then I'd highly recommend if you could consider subscribing to the channel, giving this video a big thumbs up, and also letting me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. But that's it from me, so as always, stay happy, stay safe, stay Aussie Australian. Bodgie out.